You are now listening to The Spearsy Spin with your host, Mike Spears.
ISIS claims responsibility for the Ariana Grande concert bombing in Manchester, England. The UK has now raised their terror threat level to its highest ever because there is strong reason to believe that another attack may be imminent. Hi folks, and welcome to the Spearsy Spin, Wednesday, May 24th and Thursday, May 25th, 2017. You know, I somehow feel that trying to describe this horrible, evil event there in Manchester might be served best with a short narrative by John Donne. Now, John Donne was a short story writer. He lived from 1572 to 1631. Because we know we live in a society where we're never sure of our own safety or try to recognize the evil that may be among us, folks like John Donne have a way of putting words on paper that I think sometimes makes us take a second look. This is from John Donne. Never send to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee. Perchance he for whom this bell tolls may be so ill as that he knows not it tolls for him. And perchance I may think myself so much better than I am, as that they who are about me, and see my state, may have caused it to toll for me. And I know not that any man's death diminishes me, because I am involved in mankind, and no man is an island unto himself. Therefore, never send to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee. Now, John Donne was actually from Stuart, England, back in his day, and I wonder what he would have thought of the evildoers that have done so much to hurt so many innocent people. Well, the British Prime Minister, Theresa May, has ordered that the threat level there in the UK be raised to its highest level ever. This precaution is being taken after the unprovoked cowardly attack using a bomb by ISIS on a concert held there in Manchester Monday night. President Donald Trump is now more than ever steeled in his pursuit for every terrorist on the face of the earth to be eliminated. This attack in Manchester was at the hands of a suicide bomber and killed 22 people and injured another 59 at the Ariana Grande concert. Now, if you were to visit the UK right now, especially those areas in and close to Manchester, you would see armed military personnel setting up checkpoints and also a heavy SWAT presence. It is a very real concern that a wider group of terrorists work together to launch this attack. Now, this is coming from the Prime Minister. Meanwhile, a U.S. government official told Fox News that there appears to be evidence that points to a suspect who was trained most likely online or in person to carry out this horrific attack. Fox News has learned that the bomb was set perfectly to maximize casualties. This, of course, would require both time and education with regard to both making the improvised munition as well as knowing its destruction paths. This all required planning. British authorities have identified the suicide bomber who launched the deadly attack. They've identified him as 22-year-old Salman Abedi, and he is the man who detonated the improvised explosive device. Now, the attack happened Monday at about 10:30 p.m. London time, killing 22 people and injuring approximately 59 others. Sadly, police are confirming that at least 12 children under the age of 16 were injured. Even more horrific an 8-year-old girl was among the dead. We are now learning that the bomber, Salman Abedi, was born and raised in Britain.
Back after these messages with your host, Mike Spears.
Remove the jobs, break the schools, pull back the police. Let the streets flood with drugs. Let violent gangs recruit child soldiers and terrorize neighborhoods. Don't prosecute gun crimes. And when the media looks you in the eye after another bloody weekend in a major American city, call for more gun control. If our politicians are truly using the carnage they refuse to stop to attack the rights of honest, hardworking Americans caught in living hell, then they are guilty of the most despicable form of racism imaginable. What has been allowed to happen in our inner cities is an absolute disgrace. If the same epidemic of poverty, gang violence, and broken schools poison the neighborhoods of the nation's political class, you'd better believe they'd be talking about real solutions, not gun control. I'm the National Rifle Association of America, and I'm freedom's safest place.
Tell your friends and neighbors about the Spearsy Spin.
Hi folks. Times we live in today are scary. Religious freedoms under fire, racial divide never more evident, political powers fighting, foreign countries looking to exploit our country, news media reporting unfair on issues, folks searching out the truth. I listen to the news, then I listen to the Spearsy Spin. Mike Spears has experience, education, determination, and grit to get what's going on in our country. Listen to Mike Monday through Friday. I'll listen. Hope you'll be listening too.
Don't miss even one show. Subscribe to the Spearsy Spin now. Click that subscribe button and be sure to also click that bell next to the subscribe button so you'll be notified when we post new videos.
Currently, leads are being tracked down with regard to Abedi's apparent trips to Libya and Syria, although exact confirmation has yet not been made. Police in Manchester have reported that a 23-year-old man has been arrested there and is believed to have been involved with the bombing. Also, 2 warrants have been issued at 2 separate residences near Manchester. Police are not saying what the warrants are for. However, sources close to the investigation have said that they are looking for any and all credible evidence that could be turned over to prosecutors. Officers used a police-controlled explosive device to gain entry into one of the homes. This was done as a precaution, as the suspects being investigated are thought to have a background in booby traps as well as improvised explosive devices. Now, ISIS claimed responsibility for the bombing attack on Tuesday. ISIS related that a soldier of the Caliphate planted those bombs in the middle of the Crusaders' gatherings, whatever that means, and then detonated them. Well, President Trump is on fire now to get all of those who are involved with ISIS from anywhere in the world. He is now calling on all allies to obliterate this evil ideology known as ISIS. As Grande's concert was coming to a close Monday night, the bomb was detonated. The pop star wasn't injured and has now reportedly canceled her Dangerous Woman tour following this attack. Ariana Grande took to Twitter to say that she was sorry and that she felt broken. Most of these explosive devices are used by the terrorist, then they tend to be filled with nails or other shrapnel to inflict as much human damage as possible. This according to U.S. law enforcement officials. At Buckingham Palace, meanwhile, Queen Elizabeth II has marked a moment of silence along with her husband, Prince Philip, as well as Prince Charles and his wife Camilla. In Rome, the lights of the Colosseum and the Trevi Fountain, were darkened. President Donald Trump again called the perpetrators evil losers and said this wicked ideology must be obliterated. Now, Manchester is located about 160 miles northwest of London and is one of Britain's largest cities. This attack was the deadliest thus far, barring the 4 suicide bombers that killed 52 London commuters on subway trains and a bus in 2005. The bombing also brought back painful memories from the 2015 terror attacks in Paris, where 130 people were killed at the Bataclan concert hall. So here we are again. Broken families, broken hearts, and broken dreams. What is the answer? We have been directly and indirectly fighting people like ISIS since before the attacks on the Twin Towers in New York City. But recently, the public's view of these terrorist actions have begun to change, both in the UK and in the United States, and more, the populace of both countries are now ready for a much-needed plan to terminate these evil people. Well, I believe, as do many, that a well-trained group of bounty hunters are needed. These groups would most likely be made up of former military personnel, SEALs, special forces, and others, and there's no question in anyone's mind that what we have been doing for the last 20 years isn't working to put an end to this evil presence. Now, obviously, if we were to use the bounty hunters, if you will, they would be required special training as well as passing certain fundamentals. The ISIS combatants could be brought in dead or alive. The bounty hunters would be paid a simple salary, but paid handsomely in the form of bounties as they collected those wanted for murder and other crimes. ISIS can be caught and they can be eradicated. To do this, we must have a no-holds-barred attitude as well as limited public scope. War was never meant to be broadcast into your living room, and more importantly, war should never be held up to public speculation, as it'll never pass the sniff test. Now, currently, there's an estimated 72,000 ISIS fighters currently active. They appear to be scattered among Libya, Syria, Iraq, Iran, and Afghanistan, with pods of other terrorists in countries such as Sweden, Germany, the UK, the United States, and even Russia. Thus, the bounty hunters. These are folks that can quickly acclimate and sniff out where these folks may be in any of these countries, as well as boots on the ground in the countries where these people are currently fighting. Now, these same bounty hunters could also be eyes and ears on the ground, providing intel to the United Forces. Whatever works to bring ISIS down is a good idea. So, what do you think about this latest terrorist attack in the UK? How would you forge ahead? Would you support a well-trained militia of bounty hunters used to bring down ISIS terrorists? Well, we would like to know what you think, so please leave us your thoughts by going to thespearsyspin.com. spearsy.blogspot.com and leave your thoughts. Thanks for tuning in today, and thank you for listening. We'll see y'all on Friday.